Hey everyone, and welcome back to the second round of Sydney Regionals. Kevin, are you ready to get right into this game?
I'm ready for some more One Piece, Max.
All right, let's get straight into the matchup and see what these guys are playing. All right, guys, it looks like we're going to have a second game of Bonnie this round, but we also get to see the brand new purple Luffy.
Katakuri.
Oh, Katakuri. Oh my gosh. We have enough purple Luffy. I don't want to watch that yet.
Later, definitely on stream. There's going to be like a million, don't worry, guys. But for right now, we have some fun stuff.
Yeah, Katakuri was one of the leaders that was on the box art, has one of the best cards in the new set in that 8-cost Katakuri.
For sure.
And I am keen to see this purple deck in action. Katakuri is my favorite character in One Piece, so anytime I get to look at it and watch it, I'm happy.
That's why it's on stream. I understand everything now.
I don't have bias. I don't know what you're insinuating there, Kevin. But these players are ready to go. As you guys know what Bonnie did from last round, let's show you guys what the new purple Katakuri leader does. So this one obviously came out in OP11, and let me pull up this beautiful alt art for you guys. So it has a when attacking / on your opponent's attack once per turn, don -1. Look at the top card of your opponent's deck and give it plus 1000 power for this battle. Now, to me, this Katakuri has some of the best thematic gameplay that we've seen in the One Piece TCG. For those of you who watched One Piece, Katakuri has some of the best observation haki in the game. Or in the anime, and yellow Katakuri being able to look at your life or your opponent's life. Pretty cool observation haki. Purple Katakuri being able to look at the top of your opponent's deck. Pretty cool observation haki. So it's really cool to see how these Katakuri leaders are quite thematic.
And that's cool. I'm not that far into One Piece yet. Please don't out me. Don't bully me for this. Just up to Fishman Island, so haven't seen Katakuri yet, but he looks pretty cool.
Katakuri is cool. I won't out you too much. Just fake fan, but that's all right.
Thank you.
All right, these players are getting started. Logi opens with a double searcher. You're never too mad when you open with 2 searchers. Let you have a little bit more consistency of a hand. One of the cool cards that Katakuri does have is obviously this 2-cost Katakuri, which we might see later. That is in Loki's searcher, which just lets you cheat out a Katakuri. If it ever comes down, I'll show you guys the card on stream, but we do see the 5-cost Perisparrow get added to hand, which is one of the core pieces of the deck.
Definitely. This 9-cost Big Mom being searchable in the deck, very powerful as well. So any deck that can abuse like these high-cost purple cards is by default a very strong deck. We'll be interested to see how much he does play into, I guess, the leader effect of, I'm going to play cards to look at your top life and get various effects based off what I call is the cost of the top card of your deck. So whether how many of those are in, whether any of them are in the deck, maybe I would assume there'd be a couple because like it makes sense to put the good ones in. Maybe don't run all of them. So it'd be interesting to see which ones do come down.
Yeah, for sure. I think some of the ones that we will definitely be seeing is the 5-cost Perisparrow that was just added. That's normally a really good one. It essentially just replaces the Don you minus from your leader, so it's a little ramp and gets you to cycle a card in hand. So pretty strong. Yeah,
for sure. So is the 6 coming through? We'll definitely start using that leader effect. Looking at the top card, we'll now get the dot back. One of the hidden parts, I guess, of this leader is you get hand knowledge, which is actually very important again One Piece, where it is all about the math that comes out from these attacks. So just knowing, okay, he has 1 dead card in hand, or he has 2k. It's like you can actually then plan your attacks a little bit better to then go, okay, I can play around this hand knowledge that I have. And so definitely like the more time you put into a deck like Katakuri, the better your memory is, the more you can memorize your opponent's hand. In theory, you could know like 4 out of 5 cards in their hand by the end of the game and go, I win. It doesn't look like I win, but I win at this point. That's kind of crazy. So we have to, definitely one of those things where the better your memory is, the higher the skill ceiling for this deck, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the smart things that Darnell has done this turn is he's gone, well, he already knows this card's in my hand, so I'm going to give him no information and just play it. You know, it's just going to go, all right, I'm going to minimize the advantage your leader gives you. And now we have this 5-cost Perisparrow come down from the new set. So this is one of the cards which loves to look at loves for you to know what the top card of your opponent's deck is. So let's pull that up and read it for you guys. It has an activate main once per turn. You may trash one card from your hand. Choose a cost and reveal one card from the top of your opponent's deck. If the revealed card has the chosen cost, draw one and add up to one Don from your Don deck and set it at active. So the way this normally works is we use leader effect. We look at the top card of the deck and like, hey, I know what that costs.
That's crazy.
Pudding gets the Don back, so that's cool. And then we got to do the sequencing right. So opponent's on attacking first, and then Pudding will be able to do her effect. I at least believe that's the sequencing of it all. And then afterwards, we get to use Sparrow's effect to declare the top card. So use it, discard one, we'll discard another copy of Sparrow.
Reveal it's 5. Crazy.
Man, Lockie must be insane with
that's like a 1 in
his
10.
guessing.
It's a 1 in 10 chance though. That's crazy.
I know, I would have guessed a higher number because Bonnie has a lot of high cards, but Lockie must have a different mental than we do. But now that's one of the really cool things about Katakuri is Lockie actually got to ramp this turn because Pudding returned the Don from the leader and then Sparrow gained a Don, which is really cool for the deck. But one of the things about Katakuri is it ends up playing a lot of big bodies and a decent amount of them have removal. But the removal is generally 4, 6 or less with that 9 cost Big Mum. So Bonnie playing really big bodies could get quite annoying for Lockie to deal with. And especially with Bonnie having the Shanks to remove Lockie's big bodies, it's kind of annoying. But that being said, the 8-cost Katakuri gets to restand all your important Big Mum pirate cards. So Lockie can kind of just sit there and go, I have 2 Katakuris, end of turn, restand everything. Nice Shanks you got there, bud.
That 8-cost Katakuri is busted. It goes in every purple deck and says, I get to play the game way longer now.
For sure. When I first read that card, I was like, why do you need a ramp when you're already on 8 Don? But there's so many like just Don minus effects you can abuse and then still be at 10 Don next turn, which I was like, man, this is crazy what Katakuri can do.
Yeah, for sure. Bit unfortunate that the best use of that card is not on the deck, but that's kind of how it goes with these big generic boss monster cards in One Piece. You just choose all the best ones and put them in the best leader and say, here's my blue-purple Luffy deck.
For sure. We see a 9K swing into the Sparrow, Lockie quickly defending it. And we're just seeing another killer come down. At some point, Darnell's going to go, I'm going to attach a Don to each of them and draw 2 cards when I get to block. So definitely setting up for the future. And I don't believe Katakuri runs any like chump blocker removal. It could. I might just not know what the card does. I think maybe there's like a Charlotte Oven, which is a 2K. I don't know if it's actually good or not or worth using if they have jump blockers. But at this point, Lockie just probably wants to play something that is big. Because big cards are good cards.
Very unfortunate from Darnell's side, having to just do kind of nothing on one of your like first explosive turns as Bonnie. No Cavendish coming down. Choosing not to pay the carry doesn't really get that much value. You kind of just like more worried about just getting to that end game. And we do see this new 8-cost beast of a Katakuri come down. Blocker, 8K body. End of turn, you get to restand up to 2 of your Big Mum pirate cards and ramp 1 card in rest mode. So being able to restand these cards, like we saw last game, having things in active mode and not being able to attack into them just means your opponent has to swing into you. It's very hard for you to get starved. You always get these resources replenished. And like you said, like cards like Gum Gum Giant, you normally have to -2 and then you go to like an 8 or 9 Don turn and your attacks get smaller and smaller every time you use your Don effects. It's like, no, I'll flood the board with these Katakuris. I've got two blockers that I get to attack, plus I get all these Don back. It's a very powerful card.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know how I would deal with the stress of playing Katakuri on stream. I can kind of just see Loki's face every time he uses Sparrow's effect, and he's like, please tell me I didn't forget this. And like being on stream is stressful enough, and just the extra thing of like, you just look at your opponent's card and you go, yeah, I know what that is. And then you're like, wait, did I remember that properly? Like the extra stress on that, I would lose it. I would not be able to do that. So props to Loki for it. Sure, and it could be one of the reasons that we don't see Katakuri being played. I think it's a pretty cool deck, but I guess there's like that added thing of, am I gonna remember it right?
I'm swinging 779. Oh, what was that card that looked at the top? Oh no, is it the 7? Is it a 4? So we do see this Kid Killer come down from Darnell's side. It is a very strong deck. mainly being used in the Green Wire lore. It's just a searcher on play. And then on attack, you can trash this card to restand one of your Don. Huge effects in Bonnie. So essentially, your Bonnie leader is always live, and the card's already replaced itself. So your opponent kind of has to answer this before they swing if they don't want to have to deal with this Bonnie effect. And we do see this Cavendish finally coming down from Darnell's side as well. So finally, he's starting to get this board out that he really needs to be able to threaten the Katakuri player. So it'll be interesting to see where these attacks go and how big they are. So you can't really just like poke anymore into Katakuri just because there's 8k block there. So anything lower than 8, it's like there's no point swinging. I might as well keep this Don up and at least threaten something else. So it will be interesting to see whether he goes for 8 or 9, whether he wants to save that Kid Killer for a later turn, or he just says, if I need to use it, I'm going to use it now. It's fine. But yeah, just the fact that everything gets restood by, well, 2 characters get restood by this 8-cost Katakuri at the end of the turn. Bonnie's effect just feels even worse. Trying to like play around these blockers, because normally one of the strategies is you want to rest these blockers as they're swinging if you're intending to go for game. But when he can just restand all the things you've rested, it's kind of like, well, I can't go for game now, and they've still got the board.
Yeah, definitely. It can be quite rough. But, I mean, that's what Katakuri kind of does and why it's really good. But at the same time, Darnell's building up a big board. Like, we're looking at it, it's like, it's not too threatening. But if Darnell just one turn goes, all right, 8 for Kid, attach 1 Don, swing Cavendish, untap 2, attach 1 to each of my killer, pass Don with 1 turn off, with 1 Don open, Lockie might be looking at the board and go,
That'd be a huge swing turn if we do see that come through.
What just happened here? Looks like we're going to use the Kid Killer effect to untap 1 Don by trashing it. And I'm interested to see what Darnell chooses. There's a good chance he wants to choose the leader so he doesn't get the cycle with the Paris Barrow from looking at the top card of his opponent's deck.
Definitely. I think that's a very heads-up play. It's kind of like what they do into Lucian. Sometimes it's like, okay, I don't mind this 7k swing. I'd rather you not have that 1 not minus effect from Lucian. It's a very heads-up play, I think, here, to just kind of turn off all of these like cards that are made for the deck, which you kind of need to see this card. We may see the RNG flip come through and just guessing a number at some point. So there is a bit of a downside, but we do see the 10 cost new Big Mom come through.
Yeah, so this card's really cool. If your leader has Rush, if your leader has Big Mom Pirates, this card gains Rush. So it's a 10 for 12 Rush. Oh my gosh, my pronunciation, I know.
It's such a weird alt art.
You know, Big Mom is just eating all the homies. But it does have a really cool effect which synergizes perfectly with the leader, which is on opponent's attack, Don -5. Choose a number, reveal top card of your opponent's deck. I'm going to bring this back up for you guys. And if the chosen number is a card of reveal, same thing as the rest, your leader gets +2. So as we said,
7k base leader for the turn.
This is what Bandai seems to be wanting to do at the moment. A lot of cards give your leader 7k for the turn, and it works even better with Katakuri because it can Katakuri uses his own leader to get it to 8 for one of the swings. And because of how it synergizes, he can just go, all right, I'm going to use Katakuri's lead effect, look at the top card of your deck, and then use Big Mom's effect to essentially defend it, right? But it looks like we're just seeing Shakes come down. Very, very strong from there. I think Lockie might have forgot to use Katakuri to restand some of his bodies, which can be quite rough. We see a 7k swing into the Paris Barrow. It might be worth it here just for Lockie to kind of burn his leader. Oh, he probably use it, wait for the leader to swing. But Lockie definitely wants to use leader effect this turn, so he doesn't have to worry about his leader swinging next turn. So even if he doesn't, use the 1k, could have been quite helpful if Lockie just, cracked the leader ability just to see what it is, because it's going to be the same card.
Correct.
That's in his turn.
You're always going back up to 10 Don as well, and then you can you don't mind if you can always swing with this Katakuri first. You don't need to swing with leader just to get the effect of your other cards off.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like Lockie is looking at the top 5 cards of his deck for another Big Mom Pirates. I think we're seeing a 9-cost Mum, which is amazing to remove this Cavendish, which is going to give Darnell insane value over the course of the game. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what he chooses. Looks like it is. And now he's kind of put in a rough spot, because if he wants to leave a Don open, he needs to get it back off the Perospero, which means that... Actually, I don't even know if he can, because the pudding might be mandatory. So when he Don minuses with the big one, he gets the Don back immediately off the pudding. So I guess then he has to swing with his Katakuri leader, which might get rested here from Darnell. We'll see a 8k swing into the Cavendish. Lockie probably has another play he wants to do besides the Big Mom. So seeing if he can get the best of both worlds. It also gets cards out of Darnell's hand, so he can't slam a kid at some point soon.
I think it's a very smart play. It's kind of like a mind game where it's like, well, you know I'm going to remove it anyway. So when I swing, you might as well give it up. But then if you do give it up, well, I just could do better things. So it's definitely more of a heads up of like, well, I'm just going to get cards out of your hand, force you to Big Mom, give me that life. And then it's kind of like, this is like your backup play that I'm forced you to do. But we do see the second swing coming through, just saying, yep, I have that anyway. Plays coming down with the big money, just saying, I just don't want to give you that life. Like, that card is too powerful. I just don't want you to have that 1k plus potential playing at any point in this game. I'm just going to just chill and just play a life and just say, okay, cool, go for it. Deal with my board now. The board is starting to the point where it is massive.
Yeah, which honestly just makes so much sense, right? Because using, giving Body an extra life just means if a kid eventually comes down, or, I mean, just in general, Body's super tanky, right? So giving them the extra life makes it that much harder for you to actually kill them. Lockie thinking of whether he wants to use that pudding effect or not. He won't, and looks like he'll just restand his two bodies and get it back off Katakuri. So I guess it didn't really matter if he got it off pudding or got off Katakuri. He was getting it at the end of the day.
Yep.
Anyway, Darnell's sitting there with just that big old Shanks, but that card in the left of Darnell's hand could make this game end very, very soon. But it is a bit of a risk to play.
100%. If he plays the 9-cost Zoro here, effectively gets to swing for 3 times, puts it Lockie on a huge clock. Yes, he has the Katakuri blocker, but it's kind of like, okay, well, do I then try and like block her up and survive this onslaught of Zoro attacks? Or do I just say, all right, game's over, we're going for it, and then just start swinging in? You kind of have to like metagame judge Darnell's thought process in hand of like, okay, well, if he's doing this for this reason, does that mean he has lots of counter? Or is this his only out and I'm just going to win anyway? So it's a very interesting spot to be put in if Zoro does just come down.
For sure. Darnell thinking of what to do, and Lockie's in this really awkward spot where if Darnell just swings 5, I mean, he shouldn't really be blocking with Kata because then the Shanks can come down, but he's just going to use lead effect. He's like, I want to know what that card is. No more you using your lead effect to stop me knowing what you're going to play. So we see Lockie see what it is now, and he'll be able to play the use the Perospero next turn to at least cycle a dead card if he needs to.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we do see the 9-cost Zoro come down. It's a power move.
It is 100% power move.
It is a power move. A 9k that can swing 3 times is kind of crazy to think about. In total, Darnell will have 4 swings next turn. 5 swings next turn. Lockie's on 2 life with a blocker. Having to get out of 2 of those swings can be a little bit rough.
For sure.
One card I see in Lockie's hand, which it looks like he has 2 of, is the little chump blocker for the Big Mom Pirates deck. Which I honestly have no clue what the name is, so it might take me a while to find it for you guys. But we'll get there. We'll get there. It just says if you have a Big Mom Pirates card in play, this gains blocker, and it's just a one cost blocker, and we really like those. The very strong effects in this game.
I can see a world where Lockie just goes, all right, I've got 8 Don. I'm going to play the last thing I do for my turn is play these 2 blockers. I'm going to just swing even now with my leader plus the Perospero, and then go, okay, you have to now kill me through 3 blockers plus 2 life. You have Zoro, you have the Shanks. It's like, well, Hody Jones is still a card though. That is the scary part.
Hody Jones is always a card, and with Hody Jones is, I'm gonna rest both your blockers, and then I can still use Zoro's effect twice. So we'll still be three swings with Zoro, a swing with Shanks, a swing with Leader, and a swing with Hody, which is scary, which is very scary. We see a decent enough size swing come down from Leader. I think he's just going for it.
Yeah, I think he's just saying, all right, it is what it is. This is the One Piece moment. Do you have it?
Yep. So we'll Dom minus here. Look at top card of
a free
the
1k
deck.
counter, huge, and he takes it.
That's it. There is no counter, and this is the problem we had with Bonnie last game. Both these players in enjoying it, but sometimes your hand is just full of bricks. But yeah, that was a really cool game. We got to see purple Katakuri and what the deck could do. I don't know if you could hear it, but Lockie was saying to himself, "Oh, I forgot to restand those two cards," which was a big tempo swing for Darnell.
Yeah,
but
for
Lockie
sure.
being able to bring it back just because Cost Category Blocker is a really strong card in this game and in this format, which has a decent lack of removal, especially against green, which only removes rested cards.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think in this meta currently, we're more of a tempo-based meta where playing cards, swinging for just numbers. It's more about swinging into characters, maybe minusing their power, and then trying to get these efficient trades in is more important than pure removal. I think Black is kind of falling slowly out of the meta. Lucci's kind of non-existent, has a really rough time in the buggy, has some like not great matchups and other things. So like the premier removal decks are slowly fading away. Blue removal doesn't really exist anymore either. It's like a lot of it is just tempo-based. It's like I slam card, you slam card. I slam another card, we swing, we trade, and a lot of it does come down to it's more of this like fundamental game of One Piece of like, I understand the tempo of this game better than you. I understand how the decks draw, and I understand like the average cost and like benefit that each card has in hand. So it comes down to like, over time, I will grind you out. We see these games.
Yeah, for sure. And Purple Katakuri is one of the better decks to do it. Just getting essentially a 1k power on each of your turn and opponent's turn basically makes you a 6k leader, when normally the other swing that they're going to throw at you is going to be blocked with your Katakuri. So you're going to be a 6k leader like Blue-Purple Luffy and like Whitebeard. But you get start on 5 life with no drawbacks, which is one of the crazy things. Most 6k leaders that we see in this game start with 3 life. If you look at blue purple, if you look at red purple, I don't know if there's any
Whitebeard starts, but you're down to 1 life by like turn 3. It's sort of the same thing, you know.
Yeah, Whitebeard's a fun little other mechanic that we have there. But yeah, Purple Katakuri gets to play like those decks while not having the negative sides of it, which is really cool. And being able to steal Yellow's gimmick of healing with that 9-mum just makes you so tanky. So that was really cool to see. But that was round 2. That was pretty fun. Anything you're excited to see in round 3 that we'll look for?
I'm hoping to get some blue yellow Nami on stream maybe at one point. I'm hoping some of them can come through and get close to the top cut so we can maybe put stream. Excited to see some of these maybe like OPO 10 decks, like the yellow kid deck. That's still really exciting. I know there's some like old rogue decks or rogue decks play around. Like I know there's a blue Nami still undefeated. So Blue Nami's still a deck that exists. You still kind of have to worry about just losing a mill. He's a local player of mine where he's like, I beat everything except Bella Betty. And I'm like, just don't verse Bella Betty. Problem solved. You win the tournament, yeah? He's like, exactly. And I'm like, well, if you get there, maybe you get on stream and you can show the power of this deck to the people who aren't believers.
Yeah, for sure. And if we see any OP 11 decks still undefeated, we'll probably try and get them on stream for you guys. Obviously, we're going to see blue-purple later on, so we'll wait for that deck. But if we can see a red-black Kobe, that would be really cool. Whether there's a green-yellow Shirahoshi, and there's definitely one other leader I am forgetting.
That's just Nami and blue purple.
Oh yeah, blue yellow Nami. That was the other one. If any of those decks are undefeated, we'll try to get them on stream for you guys. But that is the end of round 2, and we'll catch you guys in round 3.